and let's get into the scope thingy. So let's see what we have to do. First thing what we want to do is we want to right click and then go into the scope mode. So what should happen when we press the right click? So when we hold the right click, the player should first do the aiming animation, which I already have here. As you can see, he aims just like that. Alright, so he should do the aim, and then the camera should zoom in, and then there should be that scope overlay, like this cross thing in the center, and then there's a circle, and then the backgrounds are black, and all the circle is visible and all that. So we will do that step by step, and let's see how to do it. So let me just go to call movement FSM. Again, this is the same FSM that we made in the previous videos. If you haven't seen them, make sure you see them. The link will be in the description box below, how to make third-person character controller. Then in here we want to say get mouse button down, which means when we press the mouse button, and this is the idle state, this is the run state. Let me just rename this. So idle and plus walk, idle plus walk. This take cares of the idle and walk, and this take cares of the run. So if I play the game real quick to show you, just to show you guys what's happening. When we start the game, we are in the idle state, and then also we can walk in this state. As you can see, we are walking, and then when I hold shift, we go to the run state. So now you get the point. Like this takes care of the idle and walk, and this takes care of the run. So in the both of them, we want to say get button down. The button which you want to get down is the right one, I guess. Yeah, because the scope goes for right. So if we do that, we want to say new event, and we want to say scope. So when we press that, we are going to do a transition and add that transition. So right click, add state, and drag that scope in there, and copy this thing and paste that over there. Click that to make the transition, or you can just say right click, add transition and the scope, and then go ahead and drag that in. So what is happening here is that whenever we press the mouse button that is right, we are going to go to this state. So real quick, play the game and show you guys what's happening. So if I press right click, bam, we are going in that state. Now we are stuck in that state, we cannot come out of that state. So let's take care of that also. So whenever we release the mouse button, so which is get mouse button up, the mouse button which we want to get is the same one, right one. We are gonna go to finished. So let's control click this to make the finished state, and then we're gonna come back to the idle state. So finished, come back. Cool, right? So let me just quickly play the game. So just step by step show you guys what's happening over here, so that there's no confusion. So when I hold the right click, bam, we are in that state. We release that, we are gonna come back, and same goes for the run. We're gonna come back, and there we go. So smoothly transitioning from the states. Cool. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and make the animation that the player is doing the aim. Alright, so let's go to the animator of the player. This is the simple animator that we always make when we make the third-person character controller. Again, if you don't know how to make it, make sure you see that. I have downloaded this animation from mixmo.com, which is aiming. So let me just quickly show you guys. I'm gonna say rifle aim, and there will be a whole lot of aiming animations. So as you can see, he aims. This one is the one I have downloaded. You can also download this one, anyone you want. There are also crouching and all that. You can roll and all that, but you can just select anyone. Like I have downloaded this one, select that, see if it's good, and then download it. And make sure it is FBX for Unity, and then download, and then drag that inside of Unity, and there we have it. Make sure all of them are set to humanoid, and then animations, and just that the one with the green should be ticked. Alright, as you can see, the others are red and yellow, so I have not ticked them. So the one with the green is ticked. Cool. And then I'm gonna go ahead and drag and drop the aiming one in here. It is not named correctly, so I'm gonna say aim or scope, and we have to make a transition from idle to scope, walk to scope, and run to scope. There we go. And as you can see, when we select this transition, there is a conditions list and the list is empty. So when I press that, I have already made the parameters, so in your case it may not be there. So let's just go ahead and say press this plus sign and say bool, or instead of bool, what I think I should do is go ahead and add a trigger. And trigger is just true, it's not false, it's just true, and whenever the trigger is true, we're gonna just jump to that state, and that's the thing which you want. So no, let's just make it simple for you guys, just make it simple. Let's just go with the regular one, bool, and say aim or scope. When the scope is true, we're gonna come in here, and when the scope is false, we're gonna come back to the idle. So when the scope is true, we're gonna come back over here. Same thing goes for these guys, true when the scope is true, and make sure all of these transitions do not have a has exit time. So uncheck that, and uncheck that, and then when the scope is false, we're gonna come back to the idle, and scope is false, we're gonna come back to the idle. So now if I take this animator controller, you don't have to do this, I'm only doing it to explain it to you guys. If I play the game now, we should be able to see, if I go ahead and show it to you guys. So when I press the scope to true, he is gonna go to the aiming animation, and then when I press that false, he's gonna come back. So really smoothly doing the animation, and the animation is quite precise and all that, so that's nice. But if, as you can see, the hand is over there but the sniper is over there, so it looks really weird, but we don't have to worry about that, because we're gonna be able to see it from there, and also we're gonna just simply zoom in, so we're not gonna see this guy holding the sniper rifle wrong. But yeah, you don't have to worry about that. So there we go. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and go to the player Carl and edit. And now when we are in here, we want to say set animator bool, not set animator bool. The animator is on the user owner, so we're gonna set this user owner and select the animator, and then go ahead and copy this bool and then paste that bool in here. Make sure the spellings are the same, otherwise you will not have any error, but the game will not work, and yeah, that sucks. So make it true, so this value is true, which means it will become true, and he is gonna go to the aiming animation, and then copy these things, copy, paste, and make sure it's false when the game is when the player is in idle, and when he is running, so make sure it is false when he's running and idling. But when he is in the scope state, so scope state, he is gonna set the animator bool to true. So now if we play the game, we will be able to see that we are aiming, and that will be really cool. So you can see, right click, aim, bam. But the aiming animation is little too slow, I guess. So let's just go ahead and simply make it faster. What we're going to do is we're going to go to animator and make this faster, let's say 2 or 1.78, something like that, and that will take care of the animation being slow. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and say wait for, or okay, let's just leave the wait and make the animation for the camera, because we want to animate the camera to zoom in, which means I want to select the camera and I want to increase the field of view. So when we do that, we're gonna zoom in kind of like this. So if I undo that and play the game, and when I look up, oh come on, when I look up like that, what I want to do is I want to increase the field of view, something like this, and this will give me kind of a zooming in effect, you know, like we are scoped in right now. Yeah, kind of like that. So that is what we want, right? Okay, how we do that is we go to the animation. If you don't see this window, go to window, animation, and then animation, and there we have it. I have it down in here, and we're gonna select the main camera, and then we're gonna say create a new animation. Alright, and I'm gonna call this animation to be zoom in, and you will be thinking that we will have to animate the whole thing, like we have to first do this and then make a keyframe and then do that, but we don't have to do that, right? So just click the record button and then zoom in, just simply zoom in. I think this much will be good. So one yeah, one will be, I guess, good enough, maybe. Yeah, one. Let's just set it to 1, and then copy this thing. So copy and paste it to 1 second. So now nothing is actually happening, we are just zoomed in. Alright, we are not transitioning, like we are not in here, like we're not over here, and then we zoom in like that. So as you can see in the camera preview over there, let me just go ahead and drag the camera over here. So as you can see, this is not happening, we are just Control Y, we are just in the zoomed in, and I'm gonna show you guys why I did that. Okay, that take care of the zoom in. Let's just say zoom no camera idle, cam idle, and this one will be just simple idle, which will have the simple just make the two keyframes, copy and paste them, which are of the field of view is 60. In your case it can be anything, in my case it's 60 because it looks good. And yeah, so this is the camera zoom in, and then there's camera idle, which is normal. Okie dokie. So now how to transition between them is we when we select the camera, you can see when we go to animator, if you don't see the animator window, go to window, animation, and then animator. There we go, and then we have the two animations that we just made, camera zoom in and then camera idle. I will make the camera idle to be the default state. There we go, and then we will have to transition between the camera idle and camera zoom in, just like that. So make the two transitions from here and there, make a bool and scope. This will also be the scope. So when the scope is true, we're gonna come into zoom in, and when the scope is false, we're gonna go into false. So now if I deck the animator over here again and play the game again, and when I do that, you will see that the camera is doing the idle animation, and when I do this, the camera automatically zooms in, and the effect is really cool. And I can't find, okay, the camera is really zoomed in right now, that it should not have been, but like it's really difficult for me to move the camera right now, but you get the point. Like the camera automatically zooms in and out smoothly and really nice, right? Okay, so I think I will have to edit the animation because the camera has zoomed in a lot. So go to the camera zoom in, and you can see we can change the values over here. So let me just go ahead and set this to 7. I guess 7 will be good. 7, and then over here also 7. So select these guys, set this to 7. So now if I play the game, but as you can see there's one problem, that is when I zoom in, we can see his hand over there, and also the camera is little too low. It should be in the place that the player should be seeing, and that is over here, but we are zooming in from here. So we have to fix that. So it should not be that difficult. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and select the camera again, and we're gonna animate it to move forward. So when it is zoom in, we want to record that, and we want to move it over here to the face of the player, somewhat like that. Alright, maybe a little forward, that won't be difficult. So make him move in right front of the player, not behind the player, and also on the position of the head. Alright, and also select the position, copy the position, and paste the position keyframes over here. Okay, and make sure you go to idle and record that also, and select the camera and move it a little bit, and Yeah, move it a little bit and then come over here and make the keyframes for that one too. So now we have the camera position and camera field of view for the idle, and we also have the camera position and camera field of view for the that. Cool. So let me just quickly go ahead and go to the layer and see if it's working or not. So go to camera. Oops. Yeah. Game. Play the game. Okay. So we are over here and we can zoom in, and yeah, it is nice. It's really nice, but I think the camera should be a little more forward, I guess. And the camera field of view is also pretty cool. Yeah, it's quite nicely working, I guess. And bam. Yeah, there's little problem like this one, so we have to fix that. We have to make the camera go a little forward on the Z. So go to animation, select the camera, and when we are zoomed in, we want to record that and make it come over here, I guess, and also over here, and make the keyframes. Nope. Copy that, copy, paste. So there we go. Awesome. So you can copy paste the keyframes using Control C and Control V. I forgot to tell you guys, but yeah. Okay, that is quite nicely working. Go to game and see if it's working or not. So the camera transitions really nicely and everything is cool. So if I zoom into the journal officer, oh, that is quite nice. The only thing that is remaining now is to make the scope overlay and to enable and disable that when we are over here. Nice. Okay, nice, really nice, smooth and all that. So save that and let me just go to the, okay, we don't want to do that. Okay, come over here and you have to search for sniper scope PNG, and as you can see there are a whole lot of PNGs over here. You can download any one of them. I think I have downloaded one, so let me just quickly go ahead and import that, or let me just see if this one is PNG. Yeah, it is PNG because there is no background over here, so I'm gonna just save that. Quickly make sure it is PNG over here, save that and drag that inside of Unity. Bam and wham, there it is. So as you can see, it is black right now, so you have to go ahead and set this to sprite 2D and UI, apply that, and there you can see there is no background. I'm gonna set the resolution max size to something like low, and then I'm gonna go ahead and say right click, create a UI and image, and as you can see we can see the image right now, but that is not the image kind of image that we want. So select the canvas and make sure it is screen space overlay, yeah, and then scale with screen size, and then enter the resolution. In my case it's 1920 by 1080. There we go. And then go ahead and drag in your scope overlay image on top of that, on top of that image. There we go. So as you can see, we can see the the scope over there, but it's like a shit, so we have to make it not look like a shit. So set that to native size, and then we can see it does not look like a shit anymore. But as you can see, when it is on this native size, it is still like the edges are still undone. So what you have to do is you have to go ahead and say mobile. No, okay, let me just see if it's okay. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to say plus sign over here and enter your label for the resolution, and then add the resolution that you want. In my case I want it to be 1920 and 1080, so I added the 1920 1080 over here and just selected that. And then what we can do is we can come out and increase the size of this thing. So just increase it. There we go. Now still there we go. Okay, so as you can see, it looks pretty nice, and I can increase the size of it. to make it little clear. Yeah, so as you can see it looks pretty nice, right? And make sure this is right in center of the screen, so it should not be like, if we select the image, it should not be like this or that. So that is why I am increasing it, like scaling it from the center. Make sure it is not scaled like this, otherwise the center will be changed. This is the right dead center. This should be right dead center of the screen, like this one over here. All right, so make sure it is in the center, because the player will use this as an aiming system, right? So it should be really accurate. So make sure this dot, this cross right here is in the center of the screen. Make sure you do that. All right, okay, so when it is in the center, we are gonna call this scope overlay. Scope overlay, there we go. And then we have to just enable and disable that, like that. All right, okay, so go to Carl. In your case it can be any player, in my case it's Carl. And then we're gonna say activate game object, and the game object which you want to activate is this scope overlay. Or what I think we should do is we should also animate this one, right? Because if we just enable and disable that, it will if we enable and disable that, it will look really kind of stupid and cheap. So we have to go ahead and animate that also. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna go ahead and create a new animation, and I'm gonna call this scope overlay. Scope overlay. And then in here I want to do is I'm going to record that, and when the game starts or when the animation starts, I want it to be not visible. So you can do that by selecting the color and making the alpha to 0, and then gradually I want to animate that and set that to that. Alright, so I think that will look pretty cool. So play the game, play the animation, bam. And I think it's really slow, so we can just increase and decrease the time duration just by doing that. Yeah, pretty cool. And then we can just play this animation. We can play the animation when the player gets in the scope. But what you want to do is you want to make another animation clip. This will be the scope idle. Oops, idle. Save that and record it, and make sure the alpha is full. So yeah, and do that again. Make the keyframes. So now this is the idle. No, the idle should be not visible, right? So I don't know. Yeah, the idle should not be visible. So set the alpha to 0 0, so that the idle when the game is in idle, the scope is not visible like that, and then he can simply transition to the that one. So go to scope overlay, go to animations, and there are two animations that we just made. Make the idle one the default state, and then make the transition like that, and also make the bool for the scope, and I'm gonna call this one scope. Rename that to scope. Oops. Oh, come on, come on. How do I rename it? Okay, scope. Oh, caps shit, man. Scope. Okay. Scope is true. Go in there. Make sure the as exit time is false. Scope is false. As exit time is false. Okie dokie. Now, the only thing we want to do is we want to just control that bool that we just did for all of these. So also copy paste and just change it to scope overlay. Copy paste false. The same thing that we just did for the main camera, so I'm not gonna go into the detail. Okay, stop, close that, see if it's working or not. Okie dokie. Oops, there we go. So if I come over here and zoom in, oh, okay, so it's set to loop. Yeah, that is a problem. Simple little problem. Scope overlay, and make sure it's not loop time. So yeah, do that, play the game, and see if it's working or not. There we go. Oh, it looks pretty cool, right? Zoom. Oh man, it's looking really cool, right? So you can walk around and zoom in, and let's make a distinct one. And I think I'm having a problem with the animator. Let me just quickly fix that. So when what the heck? Okay, I made this one wrong. You don't have to do anything. I just messed this up. When the scope is true, right? So when the scope is true, do that, and then yeah, save that. Okay, that was a little problem that I just made for myself, but you don't have to worry about that. The one thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and zoom into the car, and then what I want to do is I want to go ahead and select this journal, German naval officer, and bring that over here. Make a box cube thingy and just a platform for which he can stand on. Like, I want it to be like, how much clear can we see it when he is like zoomed out over there. So he is standing over there, we are standing over there. Let's play the game and see what result we get. Like snipers do that, right? So over there is that guy, and I zoom in. Where is he gone? Okay, there we have it. Cool. So as you can see, the mouse sensitivity is really fast, and I cannot accurately aim it right now. Like, this one is okay, but that one I cannot even see it because the mouse is a little too fast for us. So we have to decrease the mouse sensitivity when we are in the scope overlay thingy. So what we can do is we can go to the camera base and say edit, and this is what we do. Okay, there we go. This is what we do. Don't do that. Specify the game object and just simply go ahead and drag and follow in there. Okay, so as you can see, the mouse look has the sensitivity X and Y for 5 and 5, and this is the sensitivity that we have to decrease when we are in the zoom in. So what we can simply do is make float for them. Make global float, so new global variable. Global variables are those variables that we can change from other scripts. In my case, we can change it from other FSMs. This one will be the sensitivity underscore okay, x, and this one will be new global variable sensitivity y. And go ahead and go to Carl, edit, and when we are in the idle state, we want those values to be set float value. The float value which we want to set is the global variables that we just made for sensitivity X. Copy paste sensitivity Y, make them 5 and 5 when we are inside of the idle. Copy these two, and when we are in the scope mode, we want to set them to, I don't know, 1. Let's set that 1 and see if that value is good for us or not, and we can drag that over here to change the values simply over here. Okay, play the game and see if the values are okay or not. Okay, and bam, as you can see, oh, it is now really nice. We can, okay, this one is really nice. We can simply aim, zoom in and come out, and we can also zoom in that guy, and we can take a headshot over here. Sweet, really sweet. So this is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in my next video. If you want to learn how to make the enemy dying system with the sniper, like if we aim at the headshot, we are gonna the enemy will die, and when we aim our other body parts like over here, then he's also gonna die. But when we shoot him at the hand, he's not gonna die, so he will also have a health and all that animation stuff. So if you want to learn how to make this, then make sure you comment down below to make a tutorial video on how to make a headshot dying system, and then how to make a body shot and all that enemy dying system stuff. So sniper shooting system, because we don't have any shooting system right now. But yeah, and we can also add a stealth kill over here. Like if we come from behind the enemy, we can also kill him using stealth, and if we come right in front of the enemy, he's gonna see us, like field of view. And look at the quality of the models. Again, if you don't know how to download the 3D models from any game, in this case, this 3D model is from Sniper Elite 3. This 3D model is from Sniper Elite 4, and look at the quality of the model. Just zoom in. Look at the quality of the model. Look at that. Really nice 3D model, and with really cool details. Really nice. And I can do a eye shot over here. So yeah, and of course you can also increase the field of view if you want, using the changing animations. So if you go to animation, select the main camera, and you can decrease this to like 1 if you want. Yeah, that will be really zoomed in. Yeah, there we go. So now the camera will be really zoomed in. So I'm gonna go to the scene view and take take this German officer and bring him really back over there, so he is really far away from the player. And then we should be now able to also look at him, because the field of view is now that. So we cannot see him right here, but now we can see it. Okay, the animation is a little messed up. Animation, animation, scope, main camera, zoom in. Okay, select this one and make sure this one is 1 also. Okay, now when we play the game, we should be able to see that German officer over there, that is really far away. As you can see, we cannot see him right now, but when we zoom in, there we go, we can see him really clearly. And of course we can decrease the camera sensitivity for now, but yeah, we can see him really clearly. And look at that, how far away he is. Really nice. And if you want to learn how to change the camera field of view using the scroll bar, scroll wheel, so when we use the scroll wheel, we can zoom out and zoom in. Make sure you comment down below, and yeah, I will make that tutorial also for you guys. So yeah, that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. If you want, you can also donate me some money through PayPal. The link will be in the description box below. If you haven't seen my previous videos yet, go ahead and check them out, and you can also subscribe to my channel. That is free. Hit the like button if you liked my video, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, be cool.